This is episode 63, Why Not? Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of SLP's Wine and Cheese. I'm Maria.
I'm Deb.
And here's our podcast.
It's for the realistic SLP.
If you haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get into it, guys, if you haven't heard.
Get into it. Get with it. And what we're doing right now is we are drinking. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Sober October.
Cheers.
I'm doing really well.
Oh, is that a thing?
Well, Mike and I are taking engagement pictures on like the 23rd of October. So I was like, let's not drink so we can be skinny. But we both already had a drink today. We went to dinner.
Okay. Well, I want to be supportive of your goals, and I think that you should not drink more than this one glass that we have here. And I might take back my wine so we could reuse it again.
Sure, you can do that.
Because this wine is sponsored to us by Naked Winery. I really like this winery, not just because of the name. I know Deb's face says it all.
Well, we all know how you feel about being naked, Maria.
We really don't all know how I feel about that. And I just, that's
well, how
all.
do you feel about it?
Well, you know, there's a time and place for everything, especially being naked.
Right. We're going to talk about wedding stuff later, but you have to be naked a lot when you're like trying dresses on.
Right.
So my next time I go, I have a whole undergarment plan so I don't have to be so naked.
Okay. I have like wedding-ish stuff for because I went to a Nashlerette,
Right.
which I want to talk about that.
Did you say a Nashlerette?
That's
Is that what
right.
it's called?
Well, we called it that. We called it a
I wish Mike
Nashlerette.
was in here for that part.
Yeah, well, he'll come. He'll come, right?
Yeah.
He's
You
coming.
know, if
But-
you record it, he will come.
Okay. Great. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me jot that down in my very copious notes.
How do you spell Nashlerette?
Nashlerette.
Oh.
A Nashlerette. You
Like
know?
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't invent the name, but I liked it. You know?
Was that your hashtag?
No. Hashtag was, what is it? Nashin to Noonan, because her last name will be Noonan soon. So still
got it.
included Nashin.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if there's like a separate hashtag now for the bachelorette party or the Nashlerette party
Right,
or
right.
you know?
Or if it's just like one whole thing.
Right, which I don't think it should be one whole thing, but who am I to say? Not my big day. Look at wow.
Wow.
We
You
need-
are just busting out the bars.
The bars?
Yeah, bars. That means like you are rhyming. You're spitting rhymes.
I'm spitting rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to spit out this wine though.
Oh, good.
Because it is called Here to Stay Chardonnay. It's a full-bodied white wine, which I definitely taste that full, rich texture. And their tagline is, some things never go out of style, implying that Chardonnay never really goes out of style.
Because it's here to stay.
Right. Yes, that would imply never going out of style. Yes. So it has tastes of French oak, which like I don't really know what makes French oak have a specific taste.
I'll taste it again.
Yeah, you keep tasting that while I read this. Offers hints of toasty vanilla on the nose. I think
Toasty vanilla when you smell it?
that's what I'm thinking too.
Oh, I think I can smell some toasty vanilla.
Yeah, actually I can as well. We put ice in here. What do we do here? We ruined the wine.
Well, I put ice in mine. I put yours in an icy cup.
Okay, because I think the water or the ice is messing up my nose,
Right.
my sense, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's probably watered it down a bit.
Yeah, because now I taste more of like your ice cube tray.
Right, which probably a bag of lima beans just like opened on the ice cube tray. So this is like lima bean wine.
You're such a good house guest.
I know.
Hostess.
Listen,
You're such a
I
good
can
hostess.
only control so much. When you live with other people, there are other things that happen when you're not there or aware.
You are correct.
I'm rhyming again.
You
too.
look at you and your bars, whatever you said before.
Bars.
All right. And flavors of pie crust and soft spice help create a rich and buttery mouthfeel.
You should read these to me before I drink so I
Yeah.
could just have it in my brain.
Right, I know. But, I mean, let's see if I
It's
taste
tasting
that.
better every time I taste it after you've read the description. Yeah, because you're putting a name to all of these
I'm putting
things.
a name to all these things. But isn't like the best type of wine a wine that you drink and then you could guess what's in there? Like, I guess that's what sommeliers mean?
Yeah, but if you
Sommeliers?
were
Sommeliers?
somebody who had like a very experienced palate.
Right. Well, I thought now, by now I'd have an experienced palate, but.
Well, half of our stuff's from Costco.
Right. No, what? No, do bite your tongue. This is gifted to us by
It
the
is.
lovely company of Naked Winery. And I'll have you know that vanilla bean lingers on through a silky finish. Do you feel like it has a
I'm
silky
getting a lot
finish?
of vanilla.
You are. Okay.
Mhm.
Good. Mm.
Now I feel like I'm just drinking liquid vanilla.
I'm just feeling like I'm nervous about how much lima beans were in here. You know, like, is this ruining
It's
my
okay.
snack?
Brush them off
Brush
the
them
ice
off.
tray.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
just-
don't even think lima beans have that much of a taste.
Right. I guess not.
I don't even know why Mike puts them in so many things.
I
I'm
don't-
like, what is this here for?
Why are they in the freezer?
Does it
is my
have
question.
vitamins? They're
Yeah.
frozen lima beans.
Okay.
He put them
Got
in the
it.
chili last week.
And did you know that this wine has been aged for 14 months in 100% new French oak?
Is this another $40 bottle of wine?
45.
Oh,
We-
boy.
We
Hello.
moving on up in the world.
Here we go.
Yeah. And some food pairings are Dungeness crab cakes with la drizzle of lemon aioli, which we did not have any of that.
No,
but we
that'd
did
be
have.
good.
That would be good. I was too busy to make crab cakes today.
Ah.
But I did make tiropitas, which are cheese pies.
Yeah, cheese pies.
Loosely
You can
translated there.
say it Greek
Yeah.
or
You say it in English.
English.
Or tiropita if you want to say it like with an English.
Tiropita.
Yeah, that just sounds terrible. It'd just be like,
But it does feel like
Cheese
more
pie.
accessible to me when you say it. Now I feel like I could say it
Ah,
faster with like
okay.
a fancy
now you're going to be like, tiropita.
tiropita.
That's better. It's showing Deb some Greek.
Tiropita?
Yeah, no, you sound too American, you know?
Well,
It's
I
like-
need to know that version
Right.
first.
That is the version.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I
And
need
then-
to know the letters that I'm
Right.
saying.
Yes. Tira is cheese and then pita is the pie.
Oh,
So-
pita.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
See?
pita.
It's a pita with
Why
pop.
did you say pita? It's a pita.
Because it's cheese in
It's
the
a
pita.
quesadilla.
It's a quesadilla. It's a tiropita, you know? I'm just saying. So what do we vote for this wine?
Drink it.
Drink it.
Cheers.
Bing.
Yeah.
It's not the loudest cheers.
No, well, your glass is plastic. But
Mine is the freeze glass, which, by the way, I bought you these glasses.
yeah, I don't know if we made eye contact.
We didn't? Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. I just want to move on to our next segment called This Week in Life, This Week in Speech. So I'll talk about my life first.
Okay.
And so I was in Nashville for a Nashlorette, and I went wine tasting at Arrington Vineyards, which, by the way, is owned by Kix Brooks, who's a country singer. I didn't know that. I added that to
maybe
our...
we're related.
Oh, yes. Maybe you are. Get on that. And then there was Rosé Frosé there, and there was a wine. It was a white wine, and it had toasted pineapple. And it had a pineapple taste with toasted. It has a bit of it tasted almost like whiskey, a smoked taste. And that I definitely tasted. So I felt like very proud of my palate for noticing those.
Was it juicy or was it like hints? Like, was it sweet? Did it taste like pineapple juice? Was
no.
it like a
No, it's just-
sangria or was it like a
hint.
wine that?
Yeah.
Okay, it was a hint.
It was a wine.
You had
with
to
a-
search for it.
Yes.
With your senses.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
The smoky taste I tasted right away because smoky taste is you could just sense that right away.
Yeah.
When you have certain cocktails have like that smoky taste, but that was the first time I had a wine with like a smoky aftertaste.
Right.
And I was like, hey, we are in Tennessee.
Right.
We are in the South, right?
Mhm. Was that your
So-
first time going?
No, it was my second.
Oh.
My first time for a Nashlorette though.
Right.
Yes.
Were you ever there for a bachelorette?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Why'd you go there the other time?
Just my friend and I decided let's do this. You
Ah.
know, why not?
was it Wine Not?
Why not? We didn't have wine the last
Should this
time.
episode be called Wine Not?
You know what? It probably should be.
Episode 63,
Why not? I like it.
Yeah.
Because
So-
we didn't decide on a title on the episode yet.
Right.
But
Do you love Nashville?
I don't say love for
But
Nashville.
it's like fine. Okay.
It's okay. You know, I
Yeah.
think is it overrated? Yes.
Uh-huh.
I also don't love country music. So if you love country music, like you have to go, you know?
Yeah,
'Cause that's-
I'm not like interested in saving a horse and riding a cowboy.
Right, you're not.
No.
Well, I did do the pedal tavern.
Yeah.
Hey, I was
Easier.
talking about my Nashlerette now, Mike, but you could get yourself settled while I continue. I also met a sommelier of a wine person. Yeah,
I'll get you some when
at
you
this
sit.
steakhouse, Kane Steakhouse, and he came around. He was like, "Hello, would you like to know what to pair with your food?" And I got like kind of shy to be like, "Yes, tell me." And I was like, "I don't know," so I didn't. Plus, I didn't want to
Wow.
drink too much during dinner.
No, I would have been like, yes.
I know.
Come inform me, sir.
I messed up.
That's fine.
I did mess up. That would have been a good learning opportunity, but at least I learned
Mm-hmm.
to next time take advantage of the sommelier and the
Right.
steakhouse.
Yes. Right. Let me just fix it.
And
You're on one of
here-
those.
Here we are with Mike here.
Hi.
Yes. Hey, Mike.
Hey.
So we were just talking about the Nashlerette I was on.
What's
Yes. It's a bachelorette takes place in
that?
Nashville.
Oh my God. You are a basic bitch.
I don't think we're allowed to curse on this, but I did
not?
not invent the name, and it was, remind you, not my bachelorette.
Nashlerette.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what the name was called. Don't look at me. I
Mhm.
was just there
Mm-hmm.
to be there for my friend getting married.
Right.
So, yeah, that's all I have to say. All right.
There's a mosquito
but
in here.
yes, I'm smacking it away.
As much as I hate getting bit by mosquitoes, I love killing mosquitoes.
Right. Yeah.
When you
I'm-
finally get it,
You feel
it
like
feels good.
it was you or them, and you won that round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So I also did the pedal tavern. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, that looks like a nightmare.
I-
You're drinking and then you're on a bike with a bunch of other people and you're powering your vehicle
Yes.
and another guy is steering it and braking.
Yes. So it does sound terrible, and I was expecting it
So
to
you're
be
mixing
terrible.
beer with cardio.
Yes. Which I liked it.
Really?
Yeah, because it wasn't that much pedaling that I was like, oh my God, like in a spin class.
Uh-huh.
But when we would stop at the red lights, it was
like
fun.
leisurely. Yeah.
And we got a 20-minute break one time, and
yeah.
there was a lot of us, so he would just be like, come on
My
over.
friend Sarah is a wedding planner from Charleston, and
Oh.
she like hates Nashville.
Real? Well, because they're like the biggest competitors? Or because of Nashlerettes?
It's just for basic people, I think.
Aha. Nashlerette.
Nashlerette, yeah.
But what are you gonna do? I was invited and I went, But
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah. So you want to talk about your
Not
life?
to judge, I just
Right.
feel like there's so many. I don't know why Nashville's such a popular bachelorette party.
You know what? I was
destination.
thinking of that too because I was like, why is so many? Because there's a lot of bachelorettes there, and like everyone gets like the T-shirts done with like the cute quotes, and I
Why
was
do you keep
thinking,
doing this?
I don't know, because I'm just like scratching my neck here. I think I got bit by a mosquito.
Maria's worried about being perfect on air, so she does like hand signals to me that I'm supposed to understand instead of just saying things out loud.
Yeah, right. I just trying to not get bit by a mosquito while there's mosquitoes in here. And
Definitely.
yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to stay focused away from the mosquitoes. And I think, it is a pretty affordable, like the bars and stuff. And the music scene is really good. Like every bar we went to did have, like, if it was a bar with like 2-3 floors, there was a band on each floor. I like that. And I liked watching and listening to the band.
Yeah.
So I think if you're really into music, it's great. And it's
Yeah.
pretty affordable. And I think Vegas is just so expensive. And then, there's a place with partying, check. For cheap booze, check. Good weather most of the time of the year, check. The Ubers were really cheap.
Maria's like, have you heard about this new restaurant? It's a factory that makes cheesecake. It's I've never eaten dinner at a factory before.
Right.
Believe it or not, it's called the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like an assembly line, if you will, of
Yeah.
cheesecakes.
I never saw anything like it in my whole life. Oh, that's like the time that we drove by Ruby Tuesday, me and my grandma and my uncle. And my grandma goes to my uncle, she's like, Brian, have you been to that Ruby Tuesday? And he goes, oh yeah, Mom, it's excellent. And she was like, it is? And he's like, no, it's chain food.
Yeah, poor Ruby Tuesday. I mean,
No, but Ruby Tuesday is not for I don't turn my nose up at fast food or chain food, but Ruby Tuesdays is legitimately bad food.
but you worked at Ruby Tuesdays in Times Square before you worked at Caroline's, right?
Yeah.
So you're speaking from like a professional.
No, but I went back there recently and I was like, the salad bar is trash. It's just not.
Just a
There's no-
checklist.
there's certain chain restaurants that are like where I'm like, I like this because it has like an identity and the food is good, like Popeyes
or
and
like
Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell and Wendy, like Wendy's. I'm not like the biggest Wendy's fan in the world, but you could even say that Wendy's is good.
yeah,
And then there's places like excuse me,
yeah. For
you can edit that out.
okay.
There's places like Panera Bread that are just soulless and have nothing.
I went
There's
to
places
Panera
like-
on Monday and I was happy with it.
Hale and Hardy is better because it has more of a like.
But Hale and Hardy,
Panera is soulless.
can I tell you why I chose? Because I did pass Hale and Hardy and then I went to Panera. And I did that because Panera is easy to order and sit down at. And Hale and
Okay.
Hardy is like way more open and it's like high top bar seating if that's available. And it's like more like to go food. And I just wanted to sit because I didn't know what my next move was.
The soups are better. It has a
But
better
where was I
selection.
going
It
to
has-
eat said
I don't
soup?
I don't need a bread bowl.
I wasn't going to eat it in a bread bowl. I needed a booth.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to sit in a like restaurant setting independently.
But I just feel
Hale
like
and Hardy's
Panera
to
is
go.
like Panera is very like soulless, corporate. Like, let's not
Soulless,
offend
that's-
anybody.
Interesting. I haven't had Ruby Tuesdays though, so
Don't.
I'm
go.
not.
Don't
You know,
waste
I'm
your
not.
time.
I'm not.
I thought Chili's was good too. Deb and I had Chili's like maybe 3 years ago, and I thought I liked Chili's, but I don't like Chili's either. The only good chain restaurant is what's that? Texas Roadhouse.
I never had that either.
I had that in Jersey. That's expensive. I remember like going there in high school being like, oh, I guess we have some extra money. We can go here. And then like just regretting the bill.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good chain restaurant. I can't even Friendly's. I guess is okay.
Olive Garden.
Don't even.
Does he hate
Don't
Olive
even
Garden?
go there.
You would be interested actually in the conversation we had during the Nationalette with the Uber driver. We were talking about. Should I? You seem to like it, so I might as well keep using it. We were talking about the Italian/Brooklyn pronunciations of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not Manciotti, it's
Manicotti.
Manicotti. Yeah, how do you
Well, some people say Manigot.
Manigot. Yeah, is that it? Yep. It's not ricotta. It's rigot, right? It's not.
I guess if you
it's
want to
not-
bastardize a language.
Yeah, it's not calamari. It's galama.
Yeah,
What's
that
your
just
opinion on that?
sounds- I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't. I think we talked about this in our very first episode.
We did, and we was joking
And I
around the
don't
Uber,
like
and the Uber
anybody-
was like,
I'm
"What?"
I'm just imagining the person who says that, honestly, who earnestly says that.
Right.
It's Manigot, it's Regat, it's Kalama. It's like you are just an animal. I don't
No,
like
you
talking
seem like
there's
someone
no
I would
reason to-
invite to all the parties.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what would make this party better? This guy who glottles makes every
I went
sound
out-
in
I went out with
Italian
a
a
girl-
glottal.
I went out with a girl
Glottalizes.
one time and she said mozzarella.
Who is she?
Some
What's her name?
Watch the sharp objects
she's-
step. We talked
she's
about
dead
mozzarella
now.
too to the Uber driver. We just gave him a crash course
Mm-hmm.
in Italian Brooklyn. He was like, "Wow, I never heard all this. Wow, I
So
didn't
you-
know
oh,
this.
that's
I
nice.
had no idea."
So
I'm
you
like,
made him dumber.
Not me. I was just tired at that point. My mouth was quiet, and I'm like,
I don't know where that comes from. And like Capicola is gabagool.
oh, I don't know.
I thought that was like a nickname.
No, they say like, yeah. Instead of saying Capicola, they say
Right, but that's not like some sort of phonemic relevance. That's just like, someone whose name was William is also Bill.
Yeah. Italians are not very smart people, and they're also two-faced, and they cheat on their wives.
So this podcast does not co-sign to the views of its guests. Those are independently their own. Yes. And what do you mean cheat on their wives?
They can't stop cheating. No, most Italian men do it.
Yeah, unless they're married to someone crazy who will castrate them.
Right.
This podcast has taken a weird turn.
All right, so that was the week in my life. I could talk about. You want to talk about the week, your life? What's going on, or should I keep talking about week in speech? Let's talk about your life since Mike's here, and somewhat involves Mike. So that was my week in life, and then I will talk about my week in speech after Deb.
My week in life, I did some fall decorating, which I was underwhelmed with. I bought like 2 stacks of hay and some pumpkins, and I thought it was going to be a whole fall scene. It was nothing. So, that was an interesting feeling. But then I also looked at wedding dresses, and that was fun. I went by myself, which
all right.
People thought was interesting. Mike, do you want to talk on that microphone, or should we give it to me? Yeah. Yeah, so I looked at wedding dresses, and when I first looked at wedding dresses, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't wait. It's like dresses. Those look good on me. This is going to be easy. Turns out, no. Lots of wedding dresses look very bad.
Really?
Yes.
I'm shocked.
Yes, so it wasn't as fun, and I was like, get me out of here. But then when I went on Monday, I saw a lot of nice dresses, but still only like 4 that I was kind of into and only 2 that I would consider. And now I'm thinking only 1 I would consider. So it's harder than you'd think. But the hardest thing is being naked. Like, you have to be so naked for a long time. And then you have to like stand there naked while they're like getting you ready for the other dress. So I'm going to wear like...
Don't they have robes that they give? I'm just watching, based off Say Yes to the Dress. They have the robes.
I mean, it's not that long.
Yeah.
I'd be like putting a robe on and then taking it off of me. It's like standing there for 3 minutes naked is still hard.
Right.
I'm like holding my boobs.
Right.
It's only like
Trying
me and
to
this girl.
cover
She's
yourself.
not even looking at me.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but next time I'm gonna wear like very planned for undergarments.
Right.
So that I'm not actually naked.
Got it. Plan for undergarments.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Mike, do you have any opinions regarding wedding dresses?
No, I think whatever you pick will be good.
But what would you think would not look good?
If you can see like someone's belly, I think that's weird.
No. Okay. They're not even going there. What about ball gown?
I was like, I don't like ball gowns. Sorry.
I tried some on and I was like, this is pretty, but I feel silly. Yeah. Like, what am I going to do in this?
Yeah. How old are you?
I know.
How old are you? 31.
Exactly.
Next year, you'll be 32. I don't know when you're having a wedding, but you'll be in your 30s. I'm sorry. You are not a Disney princess right now. But it's also ball gowns, certain shapes. And you're like me. We're like, hourglass. And I didn't think ball gowns make you look sometimes too big. Yeah. Just my opinion. Just my opinion.
Yeah, lots of people wear them and they look great, I'm sure. True. But I put them on and I was like, where am I going in this? Like, I don't know. Silly.
Does Mike know what a ball gown is?
Yeah. He loved Disney.
Yeah, they're like big. It's like a Cinderella dress.
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, it's been fun looking at wedding dresses a bit, and I have a lot more appointments.
What style do you like?
I don't like the deep V's, which are very popular, that go down to, like, the middle of your chest. Because not only do I have really big boobs, I also have, like, a tattoo on my sternum. So I don't want either of those things, like, to be the centerpiece when I think even walking down the aisle is weird. Can I come in from the side? This episode of SLP's Wine and Cheese is brought to you by SLP Toolkit. Hey everyone, this is Deb. I'm here with Sarah and Lisa of SLP Toolkit, breaking down 10 reasons why you need Toolkit in your SLP life. Say hey, ladies.
Hey.
So today we're talking about reason number 10 to get SLP Toolkit. Scheduling is very clear and easy to edit because SLP Toolkit has scheduling software within it.
This is true. So not only is there a scheduler, if you are super tired of taking 5 days to even get your schedule created to then find out a week later it's fallen apart, we have the software built in so you can just get a little bit of information entered and click a button and it will populate your schedule in, I think we had one user say she did her whole schedule in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I believe it. So you can sign up for free at slptoolkit.com, and when you're ready to subscribe, you can use promo code Wine and Cheese, all lowercase letters, to get $24 off the annual cost of Toolkit or your first month free.
Take some time, drink some wine after all that. You know, that's your fiance.
Yeah,
Your
that's like
fiancé
the
right
dumbest word there ever was, fiance.
Why is it?
Oh, I hate saying it. I'm like so glad I don't have to say boyfriend anymore, but fiance is not a fun one to say.
Well, you could spell it the way Beyonce, like FEYONCE. Would that make you feel better about
No, it's just
saying it?
weird when people are like, "Who is that?" And now I'm like, "Oh, that was my fiance." I don't like to say that word. Like, if somebody was like, "Who was that? Who was here?"
You're
or
like,
something.
"Oh, that was my fiance."
Yeah,
Why do you feel weird saying fiance? Fiance,
I just think it's a silly word.
fiance. What if you say it like
I think
French?
that's even worse.
Is it?
Yeah,
All right.
it's like people trying to overdo croissant.
Croissant.
Yeah,
Yeah, like that. Got a lot of like different words in this. We had Greek, we had
Right,
Italian, American, Brooklynese, and now we
Exactly.
have French.
Yes,
All right, we just need
we're a cultural podcast.
Si, señorita.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to what I do in speech. So my week in speech. So what I've been working on, I've been on I always like to work on action words and verbs, and anyone who knows me might even like giggle to themselves listening to this because they always know I talk about this. But action words, research has shown that kids more so know the nouns receptively and expressively, the nouns rather than the verbs. So it's definitely an area that our clients are lacking in. So I really want to teach them the action words. And how do I usually do that? So I usually like to take a baseline. So that's what I'm doing right now because it's like back to school. So I'm taking a lot of baseline measurements, a lot of baseline assessments, which is very big, and also ABA, applied behavioral analysis. See where they start and move up, and add the cues, fade the cues. But I just have flashcards. I like to do flashcards in the beginning and just put 3 and a field of 3 out. I don't do a field of 1 because that's just like obvious. I do field of 1 for expressively, like, oh, what is this person doing? She is eating, like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I want receptively, I do 3. 1 because it's just like, all right.
And you're just like, show me who's eating?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, not 2 because that's a 50-50 shot. And then I show 3 and then I say, show me eating or show me who is eating, either one. And then I just mark which ones they knew and which ones they didn't. And a lot of the time they only really know like eating or drinking. Usually, we'll see. It depends. So then I just keep those same 10 and then I work on it receptively and then incidentally, like expressively, like, oh, she is eating, and then maybe we'll clap out, she is eating, like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been doing there for action words. Check. And then someone on Instagram, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who, but if you remember if you remember who you are, message me. And they talked about using puzzles, and they said to write like the sound you want them to say or the word you want them to read on the back of the puzzle. So I did that, and it's been going well because it's just like a lesson right there. Like, all right, let's do our puzzle, and then our words are all in the back, and then we just practice those words.
Did you write on your puzzle piece?
I on the back of them. I did.
And you felt okay with that?
You know what else I did? I allowed a student to mix colors in Play-Doh.
Oh, I saw that on your
Yes.
Instagram.
Yeah, see, I'm getting better with, more fun.
Flexibility.
Flexibility. It's an ongoing thing, and I'm sure as all SLPs can work on that.
Mm-hmm.
Just more cognitively flexible. So, yeah. What about you? What's going on in your week in speech?
So in terms of actions, because I
Right.
released a video on my, and I talked about pictured actions there, and I did it for expressively using the correct syntax.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much you could do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I have done this week, which I think is a good tip, so I have a student who's struggling a lot with expressive language
Mm-hmm.
and just like expanding his verbal output and also like responding appropriately. So I made just a page of like ask a question about when, and then I just listed 1 through 10, and I was like, ask about dinner time using the word when, ask about a birthday using the word when, ask about when you go to school using the word when, or something like that. So then,
To ask a peer?
well, it was just him and myself, but yeah, so we asked each other.
Okay.
So it was just a great way to get him to like ask questions using the appropriate sentence structure.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you gave also like this kind of, in a way, I guess you could say, a sentence starter, but not really.
Right.
When.
So I would
You
say like
specified
ask
with
a
when.
question about when, and that was what it said on top. And then number 1 was like ask about dinner time. So I was like, what question could you ask? And then
Oh, so you really
was like,
categorized
when yeah, when
Do
do
you
you eat dinner?
Right.
And then I'd have him ask me, and then I'd ask him back.
That's
and
a
he
good
liked
idea.
It. So
Yeah.
it's funny how like he's so high receptively, and that doesn't match his expressive language skills. But once you just give him the model, then he's like really into it, because he's like, wow, most of the time I'm trying to talk, no one knows what I'm talking about, because it's a lot of just jargon and not. It seems like not a semantically correct response.
Mm-hmm. My question for that is, how does he do with his peers?
Well, yeah, so he's struggling with his peers, but really it's just like it's presenting as not being expressive, which he understands. Like, I ask, you answer. He just answers in a way that it's hard to respond to.
Right. And that's a lot of times with students like that, because I have a lot like that too. That's why they tend to go to the adults more, because the adults can kind of like figure out what they're saying, the adult scaffolding. They're like, oh, what, when, dinner? Oh, you want to say, when do you go to dinner? And they're like, yeah, that's like what I'm saying. So you're like helping them
Right.
with what they want to say, which is great. And then like
Right.
that's when you see like the breakdown when people are like, oh, always like, because I get like certain questions on Instagram too, and I'm like, oh, but like, how do they do this with their peers? So like,
Right.
if you're working on like one question, it's like, that's great, and I think it's great too. And then it's like, well, what do I do after it? Well, can he apply that to his friends?
Right.
That's like, I think the next
But then
step.
that's the next step.
That's
That's
the
not
next-
the first step.
No,
No,
definitely
The first
not.
step is just like building the confidence to even like say what you want to say, and then generalizing it to a group, I think.
Yeah.
But when I was writing his report, because he was my first report of the school year, I was very careful to not write it in a way that like he's struggling socially, in a way that he's not like social or not understanding conversational turn taking, because that's not the case. It's certainly an issue of expressive language. It's not social pragmatics or like a lack of desire to communicate, or even a lack of initiative. Like, he's there, he's looking at you, he'll answer.
He's engaged.
He's
right.
engaged. You want to talk to him, he'll talk to you. It might be hard,
Right.
but it's only because of an expressive deficit, not a social
Right. Yes.
kind of desire.
Well, they
yeah.
intertwine.
Yeah.
Of course. Right, because we're verbally communicating. So when you have an impact, like when it's like not working that so much there, then it's gonna like affect other areas of his life.
Right. So it was like, ask me a question about the zoo using the word when.
Mhm.
When do you go to the zoo? Or when did you go to the zoo? And I like modeled it. He repeated it. Asked me, I answered. And then I asked him and he answered.
I like it.
Yeah.
This is good.
He kept coming up with crazy times. He's like 1 a.m. and then would smile.
Okay. Okay.
So he knew that was like silly.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I
that's
was like,
fun.
all right. Yeah.
It's humor.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I blame it on the night at the museum. Hey.
Right. Probably.
It's like-
It could
right?
be.
That movie blew up. No, just side note there.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard much about it
Well,
since.
I'm just not. I know.
I mean, blew up. It's like, from was it 2004?
I don't mean like now. I just mean like I felt like it really made kids interested in the museum. The American History Museum like really became
No,
more
nobody
popular.
I know.
Really?
No,
Alright.
nobody. No.
I might go to the new
My
to
kids
the
talk
museum on
about
Sunday.
Avengers and Black Panther.
Okay, that's cool too. But
That's it.
that's that.
And also Goku.
Cuckoo,
Goku.
I heard of that.
He's a ninja.
I don't think he's a ninja, but
He is.
they're
Goku.
singers. No,
No.
I don't
No,
know. I am not
Goku.
hip. I am just not hip at all.
Right.
So, but do you know who is hip? Our friends at SLP Toolkit. Oh my! I don't
Yeah.
even plan these.
Bars.
I don't even. That was
Mhm.
off the dome. And they should win an award for the coolest SLPs or the SLPs with the coolest app
Yeah.
award.
I think that SLP Toolkit needs the award for most awesomest app.
yes.
And SLPs because they came up with this with SLP Toolkit and I use it every day. But if you want to celebrate one of your coworkers or brighten up anyone's day, you should go to slpawards.us. There are so many awards that you can just surprise your family or friends with, whoever you know that's an SLP. We have SLP Paperwork During the Weekend Award, Most Therapy Materials in My Car Award. I can probably get that. Most Caffeinated SLP Award, Data Loving SLP Award. There's so many to choose from. And if you use the coupon code Wine and Cheese, all caps, you'll get free shipping.
awesome.
So go to slpawards.us. So I think this is going to bring us to our tips and tricks segment.
Yes, it is. I have a lot of tips or tricks, because I know we did veer away from the topics.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, that's just the
What are
motto.
topics for?
The thank you, Mike. It's
Yeah.
okay. I think Mike really brings a breath of fresh air to the episode,
Right.
a realistic edge,
You know what?
We-
Sometimes I am talking to Mike and I feel like I'm always coming from the perspective of like, well, it's right to do this and research shows that. And like behaviorally, how is that like impacting your life? And like sometimes that's like super dull.
Uh-huh.
And it's just better to be like, yeah, everyone sucks.
Right.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to live my life out here and everyone's in the way.
Right.
Just sometimes it's better to just,
Encourage him as opposed
or
to
like complain with your friends instead of being
Complain.
like, well, how have your actions led you to this place?
right.
You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even have to be right or give good advice. You can just, play along.
Play
It's
along.
better.
Is it?
I think with kids too.
Mm.
Like I had a kid today, he was like tearing up a classroom and like everyone who was trying to discipline him was struggling. So then I was like, that's it. I'm going to tickle this kid. And he's like, no. And then he stopped being a nightmare.
Ah.
Which I'm not trying to encourage his negative behavior, but at
Right.
that point, nobody's like sturdness or adamantness or whatever the word is for that, like
Yeah.
was helping.
Mm.
So sometimes it's like you need to like, give a kid an out.
Right. And
And-
just give them that attention. If that's what they're seeking, I guess.
Right. And then like bring them outside and be like, well, we can't keep interrupting other people's learning. Like you can choose to interrupt your own learning and I can't stop that. But neither of us are allowed to interrupt anyone else's learning.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So maybe that's my tip.
That's your tip. It's a good tip. I have a lot of tips.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
gonna-
hear them.
I'm gonna give 2 tips today because
it.
I'm feeling tipsy.
Tipsy. All right, why not?
There we go. So I briefly talked about my week in speech. So I've been working on the action words, and then I also mentioned how I take the baseline data with my flashcards. And here's like a fun little like, oh yeah, why didn't I think of that tip? I think when you do, let's say you pick 10 or even 20 action words that you present in a field of 3, and then you're like, show me who is eating, and then they touch the picture. Oh, they don't do anything, or they touch the picture and they self-correct it. It's incorrect, right? So just take that and leave it in a separate pile. So leave that. So if you have like a stack of action words, whatever your resources of where you got pictured actions, wherever you got them from, and then use the ones you're going to work on separately from like that whole big stack. Don't just keep, if you have like a big stack of them, don't just keep presenting new ones every session. Just stick with those 10. So just
Stick with 10 like cycles.
Yeah. Yes, just right, like the cycles
then, like,
approach to phonology.
Get 5 new and keep 5 old or something
Right.
like just,
And then-
yeah.
But I definitely think like which ones they got wrong and which ones they got right. Make 2 different piles. Put the ones
Yeah.
they got wrong on the floor and the ones they got right on the desk or something like that. And that's just like a quick way. So then when you write your note, you're like, which action words did they know? Oh, here they are in this nice little neat pile right next to me.
Right.
I just write it down or take a picture of them or just have them. And then the next session, you're like, oh, here's my pile of the words they got wrong.
Right.
You know, and then
I've
you
also
start
been
with
giving
those.
tips to my CFs too who are like struggling with getting baseline data right now. And I'm like, listen, everyone, you have to follow their IEP goals. But then at the same time, have a list of like 10 actions, right? Ask everyone about those actions. Then you're going to be able to compare peer to peer whether or not they could receptively and expressively identify and describe those actions. So then you have one list all day. So it's like, here's Peter's checklist. Here's Maria's checklist. Here's Deborah's checklist. And then it's just like,
Right.
so maybe that person doesn't have a label and describe age appropriate pictured common objects, but maybe they have will follow directions. Maybe they have will like, you know,
Identify novel items or novel pictures.
anything.
Yeah.
So, and then it's just good to know. So then today was action day.
Right.
These are the 10 actions we asked everyone about.
Yes.
This is how everyone did across the board. Maybe at the next IEP meeting, since they only had 20% accuracy, you're going to have that as their new goal
Right.
because you found a deficit.
Yes. And you most likely, I'm sorry to say this, will because
Right.
action words have been shown that the kids know nouns more.
Right.
So if you're sitting there like, show me apple, show me camera, show
They're
me
nailing
chair,
it.
they're getting it. They get that at a very
Yeah.
young age.
At Apple, we really drill that in.
Apple.
Everyone knows what Apple.
2-year-olds know apple.
I know. Everyone knows
You know what I
Apple.
mean? You're working with an 8-year-old and you're like, show me who is jumping. And they're like,
yeah.
And then you point and then you show them, or they might identify that one. And then you're like, what is she doing? And they're just like jumping. And I'm like, all right, let's put that in a sentence, you know?
Yeah.
And then you could add the adverb, like she is jumping high or she is jumping low. That's not an adverb, is it? Yes, it is.
Well,
Yes,
not
it
all
is.
adverbs have to end
Add
in
the
ly.
ly, right.
It's just describing how it's
She is
happening.
jumping joyfully.
Yeah.
There is one with ly.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's that. And my other tip is if you want to start to work on emotions, which I'm going to, establish my own baseline assessment here with a younger preschool age child and how they can do with identifying emotions. And then I only picked 3. I picked tired because I feel like that's a good one. If like a 4-year-old or 3 or 4-year-old could be like, I'm tired. Just say tired, So
Right.
tired. Plus the student already kind of knows that word. Tired, mad, and happy. So I just picked like those 3 to work
Okay.
on, and then I did it like in picture cards, and there were like 4 pictures of happy. So this is happy, 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 happy. So it's like kind of like a drill. But then like the art project I did to go with it was to draw a happy face. And then we
Mhm.
just like request for the crayons and the markers and like working on like some artsy stuff. So like working on emotions is great with drawing people's faces.
Yeah.
And like
I have 2 similar speech exercises that I do with that. I have
Oh.
like a describing bundle on my website where it's just like a blank face, and then I have the kids draw the face, and then it says this is blank, and you have to name them, and then like blank feels blank.
Oh, that's good.
And then blank feels blank because blank, and then you have to come up with like a reason why blank either felt that way or could feel better if it was like a negative feeling.
Yeah, that's good.
And then also like with stories, we always identify the emotions. So like I like to have the kids do the Story Pirates podcast. They listen to The Girl Who Turned Into Spaghetti. And then so like at one point the girl's like, oh, I'm spaghetti. So she's like crying. She's not saying she's not like, I am sad that I am spaghetti. She's crying. So then we were like, oh, how does she feel about being spaghetti?
Making inferences.
She's sad. Yeah. And then the parents, like when she wakes up and she finds spaghetti in her bed and she realized like she is spaghetti, her parents come in and they scream. So like then we were like, well, how do they feel?
How do they feel if their daughter is now spaghetti, is now a carb?
Yeah, maybe that's my number one tip. Like, if you have nothing to do in speech therapy, go to Story Pirates podcast, and it's like a 2016 episode, and it's The Girl Who Turned Into Spaghetti. The kids love it. They love to listen to it, and then when they like do this it's episode 40, the early years, The Girl Who Turned Into Spaghetti, of Story Pirates podcast. So then we like identify the characters. It's Mom, Dad, and Zoe. We identify the motivation of the character. She loves spaghetti so much she wanted to eat it all the time. We identify the feelings. The parents were worried that if she ate too much spaghetti, she'd turn into spaghetti. And then the problem was like she did eat too much spaghetti and she did turn into spaghetti. And then the solution was like she had a wish to be a girl again, and then she eventually became a girl again. And the lesson learned is don't eat too much spaghetti.
Right. That's a good lesson.
And the
for
whole
adults
time,
too, you know. Don't eat too much spaghetti.
My kids kept being like, "This is fiction." I'm like, I don't know, but we were all laughing. It's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's a good tip.
Yeah,
that's great.
Just do that, everyone.
And I like that. That's a little bit no prep. You just gotta like play it. You know,
just play it.
Talk about it. You know, and listening.
I used actually Shannon Rebecca's the story grammar thing that she has, and we just like filled in character setting problems and stuff, and then we did we wrote beginning, middle, and end. Like in the beginning they were at the dinner table eating spaghetti and like so and so, and then our next session we're going to create our own stories. They're going to come up with their own character and some sort of item they ate too much of.
Cool.
And what they became.
I think we've talked about this on the show too.
For
like
sure.
You with pickles, me with Nutella.
Yeah, this is a repeat.
Ish.
This whole episode's been a repeat.
Has it? With Mike coming in.
Coming in, talking about pronunciation.
True. It has been a little bit of a repeat. Listen.
Why not?
Why not? We're back to school. I think we have probably a lot of new listeners who have probably not gone to episode 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So they, we had to ease them in somehow.
Right. So
but yeah,
we're still doing that stuff. So don't get rid of your old tricks.
Nice. Good tip there. Another good tip. So shall I end us with a quote? It is, do it with passion or not at all. And I feel like this applies to our episode today, where we did talk about a lot of different things. And I mean, Mike included. We all have our passion, right? And we all express our opinions, and it comes out. And then it's the same thing you can apply with your approach to speech therapy. Find what you're passionate about, what you think this client really needs the most help with, and just go there. Go for it. Do it with passion.
Right, yeah. And if you don't love it, quit and get a new career. I mean, I'm sorry.
Just pick a new goal, maybe just, maybe not so extreme, like,
No, I'm kidding.
But, I mean, that too, that's good advice as well. It really depends. We don't know everyone's situation.
We don't know. We only know what we know.
Right. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
That's it. So on that note, I'm Maria.
I'm Deb.
And here was our podcast. SLPs, Wine and Cheese. Don't forget to rate, comment, and review us on iTunes.
Maybe not on this
Adios.